Welcome to episode 417, where we're exploring something deeply human, the importance of community. In a world where loneliness has become a quiet epidemic, Ayurveda reminds us that true healing does not happen in isolation. It happens in Sangha, in connection, in shared rhythm, in spaces where we support one another. We'll explore why community is so vital for our well-being and what Ayurveda teaches about connection and collective balance. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. Welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast, and today we're exploring something that feels especially needed in our world right now. The importance of community. You may have heard the term loneliness epidemic. Reports from the World Health Organization and the US Surgeon General describe loneliness as one of the greatest public health challenges of our time, affecting our physical health, our mental well-being, and even how long we live. And yet, Ayurveda has long reminded us of something simple and profound. We do not heal in isolation. Healing happens through connection with nature, connection with one another, and connection with our own true nature. In today's episode, we'll explore what Ayurveda teaches us about Sangha, community, and how belonging is truly one of the greatest medicines of our time. I'll also be sharing some exciting news about the revitalized Elements of Ayurveda podcast community, a new space designed to bring our global Sangha together for deeper connection, learning, and support. So let's explore how community supports our healing on every level. We live in an age of unprecedented technological connection. Yet many people feel more isolated than ever before. We can communicate instantly across the world, but for many, the sense of true belonging feels out of reach. The US Surgeon General recently linked chronic loneliness to increased risks of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. The World Health Organization has gone as far as calling it a global epidemic. From an Ayurvedic perspective, this modern crisis of disconnection is deeply linked to Vata dosha. Remember, Vata governs movement, communication, and the nervous system. When balanced, it promotes creativity, inspiration, and connection. But when aggravated, Vata creates feelings of restlessness, anxiety, disconnection, and separation. Ayurveda teaches us that relationships are part of our satmya, our wholesome adaptation to life. Just as food, environment, and routine influence our health, so too do our social connections. When we're surrounded by love, trust, and mutual care, our ojas, the subtle essence of vitality and immunity, grows strong. But when we feel unsupported or isolated, ojas becomes depleted, leaving us feeling more vulnerable both physically and emotionally. So loneliness is not just emotional pain, it's a depletion of our vitality. And connection is ojas medicine. In the yogic and Ayurvedic traditions, Sangha means a gathering of like-minded souls, a spiritual community devoted to growth, awareness, and harmony. It's not simply a social group, but a sacred container where we uplift one another. In ancient times, life in India was naturally communal. People lived in close relationship with each other and with nature, rising with the sun, sharing meals, cooking together, tending the land, and supporting each other through life's transitions. Healing was never an individual task. It was a shared responsibility. When one person in the village was ill, others would cook nourishing foods, recite prayers, and offer care. The health of the individual reflected the health of the collective. Ayurveda views this collective interdependence as essential. We are microcosms of the macrocosm. When the community is strong, individuals thrive. But when connection weakens, imbalance arises. Sangha also nourishes sattva, the quality of peace, balance, clarity, and harmony in the mind. When we surround ourselves with sattvic people, those who are kind, grounded, and wise, their energy uplifts our own. It helps stabilize vata and calm the rajasic quality of the mind. Now, just a reminder, the rajasic quality of the mind can result in racing, restless, and an agitated mind filled with anxiety and stress. So not only can being around sattvic people in community help uplift our energy, pacify vata, promote sattva, but it also illuminates the mind with clarity and provides inspiration. Traditional practices like satsang, where people gather together to listen to wisdom or chant, they were designed to harmonize the collective energy. When we come together in a spirit of sincerity and openness, our nervous systems regulate, our hearts soften, and we remember that we belong. In that sense, Sangha is both a spiritual and biological necessity. Today, we have more ways to connect than ever, yet less meaningful connection. We scroll, we like, we comment, but often we don't feel truly seen or heard. Our modern culture moves at a rajasic pace, full of constant stimulation and distraction, which quickly leads to vata exhaustion. Genuine community requires something different. It requires stillness, presence, and vulnerability. But there is a silver lining. The same technology that can isolate us also holds the potential to unite us when used consciously. And I've witnessed this through the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. Over the years, I've received heartfelt messages from listeners in every corner of the world, people studying Ayurveda, integrating it into their families, or healing from chronic imbalances. And even though we've never met in person, there's an invisible thread connecting us, a shared devotion to living in harmony with nature's wisdom. That's Sangha in action. When we gather, even virtually, with shared intention, the energy shifts. We feel inspired, encouraged, and reminded that we're not alone on this path. And that brings me to something I've been quietly working on behind the scenes. Over the years, the Elements of Ayurveda podcast has blossomed into a beautiful global Sangha, a community of seekers, healers, and lifelong learners. And as this community has grown, I felt called to create a more intentional space where we can truly connect beyond the weekly episodes. And thank you to all of you who shared your insights in the recent community survey I sent out in my weekly newsletter. And I'm absolutely delighted to announce the launch of our revitalized Elements of Ayurveda podcast community. This new space is designed to be a nourishing, supportive, and inspiring home for connection, learning, and authentic conversation, built entirely around what you've told me that you value the most. Before I share what's inside, I want to speak a little from the heart here for a moment. So I've moved around a lot in my life, often to places where I didn't know a single person. And each time I had to start over and slowly build up community from the ground up. And as I've gotten older and hopefully a little wiser, I've realized how much I long for deeper connection, not just surface level acquaintances, but real soul nourishing relationships. I want to connect with people who share a similar curiosity about life, who understand Ayurvedic language and values, where I can express myself freely without needing to translate or tone things down. And it can be surprisingly hard to find that kind of community. And that's really what inspired me to focus more attention on the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community, to create a space where those deeper, more authentic connections can happen naturally. And here's what you can look forward to inside this new community. First of all, you'll get early access to the podcast episodes so you can listen to them before they're released to the public. Monthly live Zoom meetups where we'll gather together for discussion, Q&A, and heartfelt conversation. member forums where you can ask questions, share experience, and connect with others walking the Ayurvedic path. You'll have access to guided mindfulness practices to help you stay grounded and aligned with nature's rhythms, and group challenges and reflections, such as mindfulness challenges or daily ritual practices, opportunities to stay inspired and support one another. This is not just another online group. It's a living, breathing Sangha, a conscious community devoted to balance, well-being, and authentic connection. In Ayurveda, Sangha reminds us that we heal and evolve together. And that's the intention behind this new community, to make Ayurveda not just something we learn, but something we live and experience collectively. So if you've ever wished for a way to go deeper into these teachings, to meet others on the same journey, or simply feel part of a global circle that nourishes your soul, then check out this community. And also you get to check out my new website at elementshealingandwellbeing.com. You can also find the link in the show notes, and I'm so excited to welcome you into this new space to gather, to learn, and to continue walking this Ayurvedic path together. And as we close today, I'd love to leave you with a few reflections. Take a moment to think about what community means to you. Who are the people or the spaces that make you feel truly seen, supported, and inspired? And how can you nurture more of that connection in your life? Ayurveda teaches us that connection is nourishment. It builds ojas, that subtle essence of love, vitality, and resilience. Every time we reach out, listen deeply, or share presence with another being, we strengthen that essence within ourselves. So perhaps this week, make a simple intention. Reach out to someone you care about, share a meal, join a local class, or connect with another listener online. Every act of genuine connection is an act of healing. And of course, I invite you to join me in the Elements of Ayurveda podcast community, where we'll continue exploring Ayurveda together, not as isolated individuals, but as a global Sangha, walking this path side by side. So I hope to connect with you there soon. Thank you so much for listening, for your presence, and for being a part of this journey. And you can check out all my online services on my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. And if you think that this episode will be helpful for family or friends, please share it with them. And don't forget to follow or subscribe to the podcast, and the new episodes will automatically download for you. And if you would like to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts, I would really appreciate that. Also, please come join me on social media. On Instagram, it's Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. And on Facebook, it's Elements Healing and Wellbeing. And until next time, stay connected. And remember, true healing happens together. Take good care of yourself. Be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.